Welcome back to graphing functions. We're going to look now at piecewise functions and how to graph them given certain intervals. So what I want to do is I want to define the domain values that exist for an output of 5. It says that x is less than or equal to 4, so that would be anything to the left or including 4. So I'm going to highlight all of that part of the number line in blue. Your output is 5. That means y is 5 if x is less than or equal to 4. And then for anything greater than 4, I'm going to highlight that in a different color, green. So anything to the right of 4, not including 4, you will have values that follow this second rule, this 2x minus 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my line at 5. That goes all the way up to 4, and I will put a closed dot at 4 because we are including 4 in that interval. Now, to the right of 4, we will have this other rule, this 2x minus 4. I need to figure out where that's going to actually be on my graph. So the first thing I'm going to do is maybe plug in 5. So if I have f of 5, that will be 2 times 5 minus 4, which is equal to 10 minus 4, or 6. And so I know that at 5 as an input, I will be at 6 as an output. Now let's try f of 6. For f of 6, I will have 2 times 6 minus 4. 2 times 6 is 12, minus 4 is 8. So at an input of 6, I will have an output of 8. Now you can start seeing by connecting these dots that your rise is 2 and your run is 1. So the slope of the line is important. Now think about this. It's going to almost touch this other line, but it would actually be an open dot 1 step or 1 unit down. So that's the graph. Now it says to check your work in a calculator. So I should end up with just the home screen. Some calculators are going to look slightly different than this. Click on the y equals. Next, enter your first interval. And here's how you will enter the interval. Let me bring up the entry rules here. You need to define the region, the input or domain value interval. So you do open paren x less than or equal to. That means you have to do second math to get the test button. And you need to arrow down to less than or equal to. Enter. We need less than or equal to 4. Close parenthesis. And then enter your rule for your function. In this case, it's 5. Then we're going to add on the second part of this piecewise function. The interval for which the second piece of your function exists is anything greater than 4. Open paren x greater than 4, so second math. Arrow down to greater than. Enter. 4, close parenthesis. And then we're going to open another grouping of parentheses so we can enter the rule in. This only occurs if you have something other than a number. Notice we didn't have to do that with 5. You could have, and it wouldn't have changed anything on most calculators. It won't. 2x minus 4, close parenthesis. Now, let's go ahead and hit the graph button up in the top right corner. And notice that it stops at 4, and then it continues on with this diagonal line. So I'll scroll up so that you can compare it to my sketch. It's not necessarily in color, but hopefully you can see how the two relate. You can't see the endpoints on your calculator. They haven't figured out how to do that yet. Maybe one of you can figure that out if you become a computer programmer. I'm sure TI would love to have you.